Hey, now if you're only writing half-written song ideas and not complete songs that you're listening back to and feeling super proud and excited about, then I'm going to share with you how to change that forever. Try what I'm going to be sharing with you in this video to transform your songwriting, not to only just write complete songs, but write great songs that you're super proud of that you can then go and do something with. Now, my name's Danny Boyle. I'm the founder of Songwriters International. If you're a songwriter who wants to develop their craft, their lyrics, their melody, their structures and everything songwriting, then you're in the right place. I've also got a completely free training for you in the description where I walk you through my entire songwriting process from A to Z on how I finish every song I write to a great standard, and then how I can pitch that song to a global artist. So if you want to know more about that and know my process, then go ahead and register for that in the description below. Now, without further ado, let's jump into this. How do we go about overcoming one of the biggest obstacles that I see? I mentor songwriters, I get songs into me for feedback, and a lot of the time I'm seeing songs that are incomplete. Short ideas, verses, melodies here, lyrics there, structures here, a chorus, and it's a bit all over the place. If you're at that place right now where you have those ideas which are incomplete, then we need to figure out what's actually causing it. So first thing first, we must address what is it that's actually causing us as the songwriters to not finish the song. Imagine it like this. I'm going to give a very short analogy. If you were driving a car, okay, so let's suppose you either drive or you don't, doesn't matter. But if you're driving a car and every time you get to halfway, all right, halfway of the destination that you want to go to, your car just stops and you're able to take it back home, and the next morning you do it again. You drive and you go halfway to your destination and it doesn't get you there. Would you just keep driving that car every single day knowing that it's going to get you to halfway of the location you want to get to, but never to the location you actually want to get to? No, you wouldn't. You would take it to the mechanic and you would get it solved and you would figure out what the problem is. Songwriting is the same. So rather than me giving you loads of different tricks and strategies and approaches, which I will share with you, we need to understand what is it that's actually causing us to get a quarter or a halfway through the song. What is it then is stopping us from getting any further? Because if this is happening once, it's probably happening multiple times for you. So we must address what is it, okay? What is it that is actually causing us to not finish the song? The other thing that we must also understand is, where are we getting stuck in the songwriting process? Are we getting stuck at the beginning, right at the start of the song? Are we getting stuck in the middle, or are we getting stuck at the end? Because those three different stages will tell us different things. And if we can figure out where it is we're actually getting stuck in the songwriting process, then we can isolate the problem. It's not that necessarily we are struggling with lyrics. It could be that we're struggling with melody every time we get to the chorus, and that's our problem. It's not lyrical writing, it's not structure, it's chorus writing. Or if it's towards the end of the song and maybe it's a bridge, every time we get to the bridge we're getting stuck there towards the end. Well, we know we need to improve our bridge writing, and it's not our songwriting that is the problem, okay? Or if we're getting stuck at the start and we are stuck with the lyrics at the verse, well, it's probably because we don't know what we're trying to say. So I want to share with you the 3 top reasons that I see songwriters not finishing songs, and it's a good chance that you fall into one of these. Now, the first biggest mistake that I see that songwriters are doing, which is causing them not to finish a song, is not planning out the song, not actually figuring out the journey they need to take to get from the start of the song to the end of the song. Let me give that analogy again about driving a car. If you are driving a car and you're going to a location which is 100 miles from your current location and you don't know how to get there, well, what you would do is you would get your maps on your phone or a book or on the laptop, and you would map out the route that you need to take to get you to the end location. Planning a song is no different. You're starting the song at the very beginning. You plan out what you're going to say, where you're going to say it, so that when you get to verse 1, you know that you're going to say this. When you get to the chorus, you know exactly what you're trying to deliver in the message. In verse 2, you know that you're going to say this because you said that earlier on when you planned out your song. So go ahead and actually just take 5 or 10 minutes before you go to write your song to figure out what you're trying to say, which is going to eliminate the big problem, which is writer's block, which is not knowing what you actually are wanting to say. And then if you do get stuck on lyrics, then you can always refer back to what the message is that you're trying to deliver to the listener in that particular section. The second biggest reason why songwriters don't finish songs is they lose interest in the idea. They lose interest in the song completely. Now, what I would stress to you again is to figure out, why are you losing interest? Is it that you think this song is just not good enough? Because if that's what you think, you're going to think the same thing for the next song you write and the next song you write. So rather than just brushing it under the carpet and realizing that you have a problem in that maybe it's your melodies are not catchy enough, or maybe the song that you've written, you don't like the verse and the pre-chorus. Right, so fix those things rather than saying, hey, I don't like this song, it's not good, it's not strong enough. Actually figure out the problem. Isolate the problem and fix it. If that's a lyric problem, a chorus problem, a verse 2, an instrumental problem, don't say, I just don't like the song, I don't feel interested in it anymore. Figure out what the problem is. And the third biggest reason I see songwriters not finishing their songs is because their melodies are not strong enough. They don't have hooks, okay? If we want songs to be repetitive and hooky, we do that through the melody. We don't do that through production or chord progressions. We do it through hooks and melodies, okay? Now you can do a melodic hook on the guitar, you can do a melodic hook on a production or a piano, or most commonly it's done through the vocal. But the biggest thing that you'll find with your songs is that your verse and your chorus are the same. Now, I'm not saying everybody is like that, but a lot of the time there's a lack of contrast which makes you lose interest on the song. If you just made that tweak on the melody and making sure the different sections of your songs were contrasting one another, you would drastically improve the amount of songs that you're finishing. So some tips for you to take away so that you can finish your songs is obviously get clear on your point. Actually identify what you're trying to say so you can go ahead, say it to your listener and get clear on that in your own head. But also, another thing that you can get caught up in a lot of the time is chord progressions and production and all of those fine little details. And I just want to stress to you right now, this is very, very important, that chord progressions themselves are not going to be the make or break for a song. Lyrics is the story. If you can get a great story and you know how to deliver that in your song, that's a massive tick for a very good song. If you can then create a melody that is hooky and catchy and has contrast, then you've got the two key ingredients for your songs. And I will always suggest to our students, and I'll suggest it to you, is to focus your attention on the things that are going to move the needle the most. What is going to create the biggest contrast within the song? What is it that's really going to move my song from good to great? And it's definitely the melody, it's definitely the lyrics, it's definitely making sure that you're delivering a great story to your song. And then of course you want chord progressions that work. You want a rhyming pattern that is strong. You want a production that builds on what you've created. But focus on the things that are going to move the song along the biggest amount. So let's say we had a song and the lyric in the verse was talking about a relationship. Okay, so let's just say this is about a relationship and they've found one another. They've been friends for years and now they've finally told one another that they want to be together. All right, very simple storyline. I just want you to follow it for the example. So verse 1 is basically saying about their relationship up to this point, how they've been friends for 5 years, 10 years. And there's always been that little bit of chemistry, that little bit of connection, but neither of them have actually gone ahead and actioned the connection that they have. Then verse 2 has to contrast it. It has to be completely different. It has to be something else that moves the story along or contrasts the story. Maybe then verse 2 is that they can't get together because they're going to ruin their relationship, their friendship, and they don't want to do that. So now the story has evolved. It's talked about the connection and the chemistry they've always had in verse 1. Verse 2 is contrasting that and saying, hey, but we can't continue on anything else. We have to keep as friends, because if we don't, it's going to burn our friendship out. And hey, who knows what might actually happen from there. We might lose what we have together altogether. So there's a very simple example. Lyrically, you would go ahead and take that idea into your song. Whatever your song is all about, get clear on the story. Now, if we're writing a melody for our song, I just want to give you one quick, simple example of where you can have a verse with a certain melody and then how you can create contrast. And imagine this, you're trying to create a melody that is the complete opposite to what you've just created, okay? So when I write the melody, I'm trying to think of a melody that is completely different to the one that I've just created, okay? So I'm going to come with a verse melody. I'm going to keep it very simple. I've been thinking about the and let's stay in the verse for now. Alright, let's change the melody up. 'Cause right, you can see just how there is so much contrast between the two sections. Right, there's not many very many syllables in the verse. Space. Then you can see the pre-chorus or the chorus melody is contrasting what we just created. It has far more syllables and has less space melodically. So there's a very simple example to how we could go ahead and create that contrast melodically. So go ahead, start finishing songs that you're writing. Don't leave them to the wayside. Don't have any more incomplete song ideas, because incomplete songs we can't do anything with as songwriters. We can't pitch them, we can't release them. So at least make that conscious effort to start finishing your songs. Like I said below, if you want me to walk you through my entire songwriting process to how I write a great song, finish every single song that I write, then go ahead, register for that, click the link in the description and I will share that with you. If you haven't already, please consider dropping us a subscribe, drop a comment below for any of the content you'd like to see, and I will see you over on another video.